You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios.
Former President Trump just arrived at a secured courthouse in Florida. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And a big crowd of flag-waving Trump supporters were there cheering the motorcade before a hearing about to start in his classified documents criminal case. The federal judge may reset the trial date. It was supposed to start in May. Now the special counsel is pushing for July 8th. Trump lawyers want an August start. In Georgia, the DA who got Trump indicted on state charges of trying to overturn the 2020 election is on the hot seat.
Final arguments beginning today in the case to disqualify DA Fani Willis from prosecuting former President Trump. Defense attorneys say she had an inappropriate relationship with Nathan Wade, the man she appointed to be special prosecutor in the case. Now, a new prosecutor could change this case significantly. It would also likely delay any proceedings until after the 2024 election.
Fox's Todd Pyro. Also in Georgia this afternoon, Laken Riley's funeral. She's the nursing student killed last week in Athens. A man in the U.S. illegally is charged with a murder. Former President Trump says he talked to her parents.
They're devastated beyond belief. But she was beautiful, just so beautiful in so many ways, and brutally assaulted, horrifically beaten.
That was during a Trump visit to the border in Eagle Pass, Texas.
Who can want this? Who can want millions of people from lots of bad places pouring into our country?
And while he blames Biden border policies for record illegal immigration, the president, at the border in Brownsville, Texas, blamed Republicans for blocking a plan to slow that surge, and he urged former President Trump,
join me, or I'll join you in telling the Congress to pass this bipartisan border security bill. We can do it together.
In Russia, a funeral for opposition leader Alexei Navalny at a church in Moscow, followed by his burial. Thousands gathered despite the threats of being arrested, paying tribute to Navalny, who died at a prison 2 weeks ago. America's listening to Fox News.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like climbing a mountain, but that mountain is also covered in banana peels. Then when something new gets added to your list, you're like, nope, I'm already climbing this huge, super slippery banana peel mountain of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to manage your policy on our mobile app. So climbing that banana peel mountain feels more like a leisurely stroll. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Pure Talk believes in American values and that free should mean exactly that, free. Well, switch to Pure Talk today and you'll get a free Samsung 5G smartphone. Now, qualifying plans start at just $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data, and, of course, mobile hotspot. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, claim your eligibility for your free brand new Samsung 5G smartphone. Start saving on wireless today and switch to MyCell.
South Louisiana's biggest St. Patrick's Day celebration is back. Patty in the Park, Saturday, March 16th at Park International, downtown Lafayette, presented by Bud Light. Featuring The Good News, 337, DJ Digital, and the People's Champ, Paul Law.
What it do is Power Wow, I'm the People's Champ.
Tickets available now at Eventbrite.com and all Legends locations. The only official after Patty party happening at downtown Legends Patio. Official Patty in the Park t-shirt by Mike James Entertainment. Wristbands by The Ruins. Designated driver tent by Service Chevrolet.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% Lists Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show on a Friday. Cold and rainy today when I came in. But I'm not the weatherman. I can't control that. You know, I'm going to let John Bell Edwards and the liberals and the left and the Looney Tunes control the weather. I got a guy on here say they can't do it. But anyway, 844-766-6607 is the number. It's the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. I'm going to play if you can find it, I'm going to play that, not right now, but I'm going to play that quote from that guy. The representative who's worried about the criminals. We got that. Got plenty of guests. Some people talk about the legislation, some national guests dealing with ICE and some of the things going on at the border. So we kind of going all over the place today, but I wanted to start with one of my favorite guests. His name is Stephen Parr. I call him the Moon Griffon Climate Czar. He is a meteorologist. He's been following this stuff and covering this stuff with this global warming nonsense for a while. Stephen, how you doing, bud?
Doing great, Moon. Good morning.
Well, you know, when I came across this article, I thought of you. So I'm going to call Stephen. I ain't had you on in 2 or 3 weeks. I could put you on once a week, Stephen, because I like, well, and listen, I just think you got tons of knowledge. You make sense. You make my argument, or should I say I'll make yours, that all this money we're wasting, the trillions of dollars on trying to change our economy is really to hurt the United States of America. But when I come across this article, I thought of you because this is what you've been explaining to our audience for a while. Scientists, Epoch Times, expose major problems with the climate change data. And I'm going to skip through most of it. But let me go to one paragraph. This is what I keep telling people. This carbon capture is a joke. All this stuff with windmills and solar is a joke. All of it's based off of a lie from hell to tell us that they're going to change the temperature and save the world. But everybody's getting in, especially in the state of Louisiana, led by Bell Edwards. They're getting in and getting their money. Let me quote it. The flaws are so significant that they make the temperature data and the models based on it essentially, let me read this word, useless. We're doing something based off of useless data, or worse, 3 independent scientists with the Center for Environmental Research and Earth Science explain. So without further ado, if you read this and saw this, you've been talking about this on my program for a while.
Yeah, this is really one of the biggest problems. I've said on the show before that in science, when your theory doesn't match the data, you're supposed to change your theory. But in climate science, when the theory didn't match the data, they change the data. And they do it through a process like the left often does. They'll give it a nice fluffy name, right? And the name, well, that sounds perfectly reasonable. It's not that they're illegal aliens. They're simply undocumented migrants. Oh, okay, I see the problem. So they changed the meaning of the word. Well, in this case, in climate science, they called it homogenization. Mm-hmm. So basically what it was is they looked at the temperature data, and it wasn't matching up with climate data, with the climate models. It wasn't matching up with the predictions. So they went through and changed the historical records of temperature stations from across the United States and across Europe going back into the 1800s. And they used a computer program to do it. Now, when climate skeptics went, hey, guys, why don't we follow the scientific method? Why don't you publish the methodology you use to change the data? Why don't you show us what you did? Show your work. The climate scientists literally said, no, if we share that, how we change the data with you, you will simply try to prove us wrong.
What's wrong with that?
That's a direct quote.
What's wrong with that?
Right. What's wrong with that? That's how the scientific method's supposed to work. There are physicists right now who their job today is to try and prove Einstein wrong. That's how science works. It's nothing personal. We can't get to the truth. If your ideas don't stand up to scrutiny, you have bad ideas. Yeah. That's what science is supposed to be about. But they don't want you to scrutinize how they change the data. So what these scientists finally did, and it's been several years, it's been about a decade since they did the last version, it's called version 4, was the change in the data set. Well, so they had these climate skeptics that went through and tried to look at the data and tried to look at the computer programs, and they started realizing the data was actually changing for individual temperature stations on a daily basis. That what was going on was that they had written code, computer code, to change the data that was almost doing it not quite random because there's definitely a method to it, but it wasn't the same. So if they changed the data for a temperature station back in the 1930s and made it cooler then, the next day it wouldn't be quite the same level of coolness on that date back in 1930. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So their homogenization was actually a computer program that's not based in scientific fact, and yet they're using those numbers to plug into their climate models to predict the future.
So they're
predicting the future based off of falsehood.
Yeah, so you take it and you lower it and make it cooler. That makes it look like it's hotter now. Don't it? I mean, by the manipulation of a little cooler makes it look like a little warmer. And look, I'm wrong. I may be wrong on everything, Stephen, but I'm not wrong on this. This is the biggest fraud that's ever taken over the United States of America. And they're your friends and my friends that are taking the money going, well, and this is the attitude, well, somebody's going to get the money. They're taking us down financially till we're going to be broke. I'm talking about broke and depressed, and I'm not a negative. I'm telling you, I'm watching it happen, and buddies of mine in the businesses that we love are taking that money, baby. They don't care. But when they take the money, they're basically saying that this lie is true. Every time they take the money, they're basically saying the lie is true. Am I wrong about saying that?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And actually, from a market standpoint, because when you start talking about money and prices and you deal with capitalism, money and prices simply is a piece of information for a market system. Mm-hmm. So when you say this is worth $12, okay, well, you're giving some information to the marketplace. If somebody buys it for $12, they're giving information to the marketplace about what something's actually worth. When the government pours in literally hundreds of billions of dollars into this climate lie, when it's not based on actual market situations, it is a lie to the market itself. You are lying to the market. Now, when people lie to the market on massive scales, every single time there will be a correction down the road. Yep. And that correction comes in forms of recessions and depressions. Think back to the 2008. Yep. The government was pouring a whole bunch of money into housing, trying to get people who couldn't afford homes to be into homes.
Correct.
And that led to the bank collapse in 2008 of the housing market. That led to the Great Recession. Of course, Barack Obama made all that worse. But when it comes to this climate bubble, there will be a time when people start to realize, wait a minute, this whole thing's a lie. And the whole thing will collapse, and it will lead to a massive disruption in the market. It will lead to a massive recession simply because people have been buying into the lie for decades.
Yeah, see, that is the part I wanted to ask you about. It ain't a matter of when this is going to blow up. This is going to blow up, Stephen. And if the sad thing about it is, everybody who's not paying attention to this or who don't care or who is making a lot of money because of it, they're going to be hurt too. They're going to be devastated. This is a matter of time. It's going to blow up. This thing is a lie from hell. I saw it. My spirit tells me that. I'm seeing it with my eyes. Let me give you an example. You mentioned billions. Let me give another quote out here. With no climate crisis, because there is none, the justification for trillions of dollars in government spending and costly changes in public policy to restrict carbon dioxide emission collapses, the scientist explains in a series of interviews. It's going to happen. These young people that are out there protesting, God bless them, they don't know what the hell they're protesting. These people that are accepting this money, and look, it's my friends in oil and gas and the chemical plants and everybody else that's involved in this. It's going down. It's going to be hurt. And you basically, by taking the money, they're saying, well, the oil and gas companies are in it, and all these people are in it, the chemical plants, they're all in it. They all go around and say, see, they're taking the money, but they're taking money under false pretenses. And we don't have the money, Stephen. We don't have the money anymore.
Well, look, there was a survey that just was published this last week. They asked a bunch of people in America, how much money would you be willing to spend every month to fight climate change? 61% of Americans said, we're not willing to spend more than $10 a month to fight climate change, all right? And that included 50% of millennials and younger, okay, 18 to 34. So even the young generation that's been indoctrinated, that's been brainwashed through all of their education that global warming is man's fault, all of them, they said, I'm not spending more than $10. I don't want to spend more on climate change than I spend on Netflix.
Yeah.
Moon.
By the way, Netflix is more true than climate change. How about that?
Here's the sad part. We're already spending more than $10 a month per person on climate change. That $1.2 trillion climate bill, the climate change bill that was passed by Biden, that, if you divide that up by all the Americans, by everybody in the country, right? If we just spent $10 a month trying to pay off that bill, we would be paying on that bill for 55 years. Moon, we're already spending more than $10 a month on climate change. Think about the cost of gas in your car. It's gone up by more than $10 a month. Think about your electricity and your gas bill at home. That's already more than $10 a month than it used to be. And that doesn't include all of the other money we've wasted in tax dollars in science funding for climate science. And it's hundreds of billions of dollars every year. We're already spending more, every single one of us, already spending more than $10 a month to fight climate change, and we're not going to be able to change the climate because we're not that big.
No, we ain't that bad. You're right. We're not even a good zit on your rear end. Let me take a break. Stephen Paul, my comments are a few more questions when we get back. Yeah, there's another waste of money on a lie. Stephen, I'm going to keep pounding it because I know I'm right, and the people taking the money are wrong. Got nothing against them. I get it. The farmers out there saying, hey, man, I'm making a lot more money. I get it. You have to tell me about that. But I'm telling you the big picture. What a tragedy that's coming all because of the Green New Deal.
As Louisiana's only fiberglass manufacturer and fabricator, C-Safe Fiberglass Grading and Structural Systems has provided corrosion-resistant products to the Gulf Coast for over 45 years. Our fiberglass grading, cable trays, and structural shapes are ideal to replace corroded, rotting building products and can be custom fabricated by the best fiberglass craftsmen in the world, right here in Lafayette. Contact C-Safe or visit our website at csafe.com. That's SEA like the ocean, SAFE.com.
Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases? Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com.
How do you describe?
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is at 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. By the way, Stephen Paul, my comments are, he is a meteorologist, and been a meteorologist for 20-something years. In this article, it said, but good science demands scientists are encouraged to question the IPCC's dogma. Supposed purity of the global temperature record is one of the most sacred dogmas of the IPCC. So there you go. They're supposed to ask questions, but they don't want them to. They won't let them. I mean, Barack Obama started that. Science is settled. Science is settled. And that's the problem. Science is never settled. Am I wrong by saying that?
No, you're absolutely right. You can tell if somebody understands how science works by whether they use the phrase "the science is settled" or not. The science is never settled because we can never know with 100% accuracy that everything is 100% correct because we're not God. Mm-hmm. We're not omniscient. There's no way we can know everything. And for you to be a scientist, number one, you have to be humble. You have to have enough humility to know that you cannot ever know everything. And so you may get closer to the truth, but it's impossible from a scientific standpoint to be 100% certain that you know the truth for all things for all times. And that's why you have to allow your ideas to be questioned. You have to allow other people to look at your work. You have to allow for questions to be asked. And when you're saying, look, the science is settled, the science is settled, the science is settled, all you're doing is you're replacing science with authoritarianism. With this,
Obama, that sounds just like him.
It's dogma, yeah. It's no longer science. It's faith. It's a religion. And look, man, I'm a religious person. I have a lot of faith. I think there's a role for that, but not in science.
Yeah,
that's not where it belongs.
I know. It's just a shame that we have to keep going back over this and watch these people go crazy on this federal money. I just read today, I'll get to it later in the program, where now in the last 23 days, we spent another $14 billion worth of debt. We're doing this at a IMF, which is the
International Monetary Fund.
Yeah, they're they pro-government, anti-America fund. They are saying that the United States of America better watch what they're doing, the debt they run up, and it's basically a big part of it on this Green New Deal. Basically, a big part of giving out money to people all over the country and tax credits and things of that nature. And Stephen, I tell you, man, they are watching us. When the IMF is looking at us, going, "Boy, y'all in trouble," don't you think we're probably going to be in trouble soon?
What do you mean probably going to be in trouble soon? We're already in trouble. The interest that we're going to pay this year, we're going to pay more money on the interest on the debt than we are going to for national defense.
Saw that.
And what did we get for that interest? Was it better than national defense? Was it more valuable than national defense? That all that money that we've spent, that deficit spending we've been doing for most of our lives, was it more valuable than national defense? Well, no. But now it's going to cost us more. You see, we're actually going to spend more on that than we are on protecting our families, protecting our friends. And look, this climate stuff, it seeps into everything. I just read the Department of Energy just is announcing new regulations for washers and dryers and dishwashers.
Yep.
And they're going to require you to use less water. They're going to require you to use less energy, which means that you're going to have to do the same thing when they change the shower heads, and you couldn't get as much pressure out. You had to take longer showers. We're going to have to be washing our clothes 2 and 3 times to get it as clean as we did with one load. And we're doing all that in the name of saving energy? It doesn't make any sense.
No,
and yet it sneaks into every single thing in our life.
No, it's actually, as like I said, the Green New Deal is like a watermelon. It's red on the inside. This is communism. This is to control American people. And I'll be damned if the people that love this country are buying into it. I don't doubt they love the country no more than you, me, anybody else. They buying into the biggest lie, and it's going to put us in a position that we're not going to even be able to defend ourselves. And this is all led by mostly Democrats, but some Republicans that buy into stupidity. I mean, Psycho Bill Cassidy's running around telling everybody, "Hey, I'm all for the Green New Deal," and he's all for the infrastructure. All that stuff was a lie. Every dang bit of it. And I'll give you the final word, Stephen. It's almost depressing to watch what people are doing with this craziness. Right here in my own state.
Yeah, it really can be. And when people that you vote for and they start buying into it just because they get corrupted by the power and the money and the influence and wanting to be friends with people and buying into the lie that the science is settled. Science is about questioning. Science is about seeking truth. If you ever think you know everything, you are no longer a scientist. And when they are changing the temperature record in this country and around the world to make it colder in the past so that it looks like it's hotter today, and that's what they're doing.
Yes, sir.
Number one question should be, why?
Yeah, but it's worse than that because they've taken a lie and basing all this overspending of money, changing America. They don't want you to eat meat. They want you washing dryers to change. Will cost us more. You go to a rationing type system. And I'm telling you now, America should be running away from this. Trump did the right thing getting away from it. But, man, when Biden and them came back, they said, this is what we're going to do. Stephen Parr, the Climate Czar. Stephen, thank you as always.
Thank you, Moon.
All right, brother. God bless. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, my friend at Schumacher Homes dedicated to making sure the custom home building is within reach for everyone. Your custom-built home. And Schumacher Homes does a great job of building custom homes. They're going to provide you with a dedicated team of specialists who give you choices and tools necessary to create your home and your dream home. The new year is a perfect time, right now, perfect time to take the first steps toward realizing your dream home. Schedule your free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting today by calling or visiting SchumacherHomes.com, SchumacherHomes.com, celebrating over 3 decades of crafting affordable custom homes. Schumacher Homes has always made it their goal to make the home building journey enjoyable, simple, and hassle-free. They're going to provide a devoted team to build your home. They're going to keep you up to date. Any tricks in the armor, they're going to come right to you and say, hey, we got a problem. We got a situation. Schumacher Homes will make it like you want it. SchumacherHomes.com and let the professionals give you a free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting right now. Folks, remember the name All Field Equipment, allfieldequipment.com. When I say All Field, that's ALLfield.com. All Field Equipment, founded in 2016 by my good friend, Mr. Bill Allen, with over 50 years' experience in the oil and gas industry. Hey, this is a great company to do business with. Whether it's production equipment, control valves, controller, glyco pumps, chemical pumps, chokes, Wilden pumps, Barton recorders, All Field has new, rebuilt, and parts. All Field handles some of the industry's top brands such as Norseal, Fisher, and Kimray. On the supply side, All Field has anything from Q-tips to appliances to general All Field supplies. All Field is one of the largest suppliers of bottled water in the Gulf. And remember, All Field never changes transportation. Like the name says, All Field has it all, covering the Architects area and the Gulf of Mexico. All Field Equipment, 337-837-1003, 337-837-1003.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% List Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. Hey, folks, this is the weekend. Next 2 days. I'm telling you right now, next 2 days is the tax-free weekend at Stein. Go on the internet, steinhome.com, steinhome.com. See all the great deals. It's a sale on top of sale because guess what they're going to do? Tax-free weekend. You walk in there and spend $1,000, you pay no taxes. You spend $100, you pay no taxes. They pay 100% of the sales taxes on lawnmowers, generators, all kind of stuff right now at Stein. Outdoor living collection. Stein got a power equipment sale going on right now. You pay no sales tax. You know, Mr. Stein and them, they the ones started this no sales tax holiday that you see other things are put on in Louisiana. But it's Stein. It's a tax-free weekend. Here's the great thing. That's March 2nd and 3rd, the next 2 days. I'm just telling you right now, go to the website, steinhome.com. They got a sale on a sale. They got sales on stuff. Then you don't have to pay sales tax. Great time if you're looking for big ticket items like that new lawnmower. Just has zero turn. Outdoor living collection, something you're going to spend some money. And to save 10% on $1,000, $2,000, it's a lot of savings. Steinhome.com, Steinhome.com. This is the weekend. This weekend, the next 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, Stein has everything waiting on you. My good friends at Stein, one of those great Louisiana companies. A couple of things. I want to thank Stephen Parr because I got him real quick. I came across this article at Epic Times. It's really good. And once again, it's laid out there. Stephen's been like, so when you see all these people jumping up and down, when you read in the newspaper, oh, man, look at what we're doing with this. All that's federal money printed, causing a debt problem from hell, causing the interest rates will skyrocket up, and it's also causing inflation. So listen, I'm not a doom and gloomer. I'm just telling you what's coming ahead of us. This will be a disaster. This is a disaster and will be a disaster. It's already causing disaster for people. Just like Biden, mentioned Biden administration finalized environmental regulations targeting clothes, washers, and dryers. They're looking after your gas stoves. These people are sick. They're sick. It's a lie. They're going. If you ever notice the left, it's always to take the people and put them down. It ain't to ever build them up. It's a lie it's going to be cheaper. It's a lie that it's going to produce all these jobs. By the way, this is the other thing I read the other day. First Solar's Louisiana plant, part of an expansion that will result in 30,000 jobs across the U.S. I'll take that bet. Adam Dago, Acadiana business editor. He just wrote something. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. This is going to phase. This is not going to happen. By the way, why aren't they predicting it this year and next year? No, 2026. Solar panel manufacturing, First Solar expected to employ over 30,000 direct, indirect, and induced jobs across the country in 2026. I'll take that bet. It never happened. And if it does happen, it's going to fall. Reported by Blanco Public Policy Center, which I think is part of University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Commissioned by First Solar, used economic software to analyze First Solar's actual forecast of U.S. spending last year. Here's the kicker. How much is federal money? How much are they getting subsidies from the federal government? Wouldn't even be talking about this. Nobody would be. Here's another thing. If the United States of America is not being done by the private sector and it's being forced on you, you should have a problem with it. We should have a big, big problem with it. This is absolutely ridiculous. But I'm going to tell you, folks, I'll go to my grave knowing I'm right about this one. It is no way what we're doing to ourselves can last. I went over, and I'll get to it later, but $213 billion worth of debt in the last 23 days. $213 billion. You remember I had Rusty Cliche on here? He was talking about we spending $3 billion a day. He tells me now, because I called him last night, it's over $6 or $7 billion a day of debt in the United States of America being spent. Here it is, $213 billion plus piled on U.S. national debt in 23 days. As former IM chief economist, he's extremely worried about the borrowing binge. Folks, we ought to not be doing none of this stuff. We started the borrowing binge years before. Today, they're sitting down and trying to decide what they're going to do with the federal budget. The federal budget in the United States of America. They're going to do one of these things where they've been doing this since Barack Obama came on, is that they're going to just extend it for another month or two till they decide what they're doing. They're going to extend it another month. Then they're going to extend it after the election so they don't have to bring it up during the election. Folks, when you're spending money like this, you're putting yourself in trouble. Former International Monetary Fund, IMF, sounding alarm about the U.S. government's thirst for debt. New data from the U.S. Treasury Department. National debt rose to almost $34.5 trillion on February 23rd. In 3 weeks, it's increased $213 billion. The country's swelling national debt caught the attention of ex-IMF chief economist Oliver Blanchard. In a video conference call from the members of the UK's House, they go over that. In the U.S., I'm very worried because primary deficits are very large and is absolute. Listen, there's no attempt to decrease them in any way, shape, or form. That's what we're spending when Bill Cassidy and them are walking around saying, oh, we got these Green New Deals. This is infrastructure. I voted for infrastructure. He voted for the Green New Deal. We are not trying to stop anything. And I'm sounding an alarm out. I'm getting ahead of it saying, we got to stop this today. And we're not. Because we got windmills to build. We got boats to take windmills out. We got solar farms to conquer. We got electric vehicles we got to get in this place. We got to save the planet. And then we got the old carbon capture. Oh, we got to have carbon capture. Oh, where will we make it without carbon capture? Record level debt of the United States could be a catalyst that triggers the next global financial crisis. And we know if they struggle in the U.S., then there's implications of the rest of the world. We're not stopping. That's why I got Stephen Parr on. I wasn't talking about, Stephen Parr's talking about the craziness of climate change. And it's crazy. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous what they're doing to us. But man, this money stuff, I still ain't. Every time I sit down with bankers, I sit down with financial planners, I start asking them about this stuff. They shake their head. They say, man, I don't know what's going to happen. They all tell me this is not fundamental. They all tell me that this can't continue. This is what people tell me. They're a lot smarter than me. Moon, this is devastating. We just keep doing it. I don't understand a government. If we're supposed to be so great and so free to be the best we can be, why is the government in a free country telling us everything we need to do? Barack Obama said it once. He said it 1,000 times. It's a settled science. No, it's not. Because Barack Obama knows less about the environment than he did about health care, and he didn't know nothing about health care either. He didn't know zero. He's a political guy. He's a leftist. He's a Marxist. He's Satan's brother. We got people still believe he was a good president. God have mercy. He's running this whole camp through Joe Biden. So we don't have to keep looking the other way if we want to. Everybody keep taking their money and tell us about carbon capture and about 30,000 solar panel jobs that are going to be around the country because of some report out of a university. Come on, man. Come on. We got to have a little bit of sense in the United States now. Most of this stuff people don't follow. Young people getting upset, trying to save the environment, brainwashed to no end. You ever notice when they got a big protest, 99.9% of the people are probably under 22 years old? No clue. They might be smart people, smart kids, no clue. You can't, folks, I told y'all this. I've been telling y'all this for many, many years. Fundamentally, financially, what we do in this country, in this state, cannot be maintained. And the results of it are devastating. What do I know? I'm just a talk show host. All right, let's take a break. 844-766-6607. Matthew James, Tax and Wealth Management Hotline, if you'd like to be part of the program. Take a break. Be right back. From their humbling beginning, Dino Hardwoods is striving to provide superior service and quality products for their customers. Hey, I know Charles Altman. He does a great job. If you're looking for lumber, Dino Hardwoods stocks a large selection of domestic and import hardwood lumber and cypress. You ought to see their stuff. Exotic lumber, they got that as well. Trust in Dino Hardwoods when it comes to your exotic lumber needs right now. Molding, plywood, paint, and L products, they are ready for you. They got 3 great locations. The corporate office is right here in Broussard, Louisiana. There's an office in Shreveport on 2801 Valley View Drive and one in Tyler, Texas, 12492 Highway 155 North. Hey, if you're looking for something different and something new and somebody who will service you, it's Dino Hardwoods. I'm telling you, don't forget Dino Hardwoods. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Great locations. They can service you. They can deliver. DinoHardwoods.com. Check out this great Louisiana company. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast. Give the... I promise you I'm trying to get his headset on. I think it fell off twice. Guess my head is too little. All right, 844-766-6607. It is the Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Let me see something else real quick. Somebody wrote, federal debt, who's in charge of the federal budget? I think 535 people are in charge of the federal budget. 535 members and the president. You ever heard the old saying that when everyone is in charge, that no one is in charge? That's a good point, good question. This also, the U.S. is paying record amounts of interest on its debt. It only gets worse. It's only going to get worse. Now, we're writing and saying it's going to get worse. We know it's going to get worse. Why don't we do something about it? Fourth quarter tab was nearly $30 billion more than the prior quarter, which is largest quarterly increase on record. Largest. We're getting worse. Borrowing costs are expected to become an increasingly heavy burden in coming years. The Congressional Budget Office is set to provide the latest estimate on Wednesday. Why don't we do something about it? Because you don't have anybody in Washington who wants to do anything about it. It's all right. Just let it all go to hell in a handbasket. I guess, once we fall into a Great Depression, we can really take our country and do what we want to do with it, huh? It makes no sense that I'm watching this in the year 2024. I'm watching what's taking place. Now, legislature, Jeff Landry, I was read today, and I also share with some other people that Governor Landry, feel like he got a lot of the stuff he wanted to get through. And I'm glad. You're going to watch the media and the Rolf McAllister types that are going to continue to pound Landry. They have nothing to do and all day to do with it. Crime session in, major victory for Landry. His most favored bills earn approval from Republican legislature. I was kind of laughing because the Democrats, who, by the way, have as much crime problems in the state of Louisiana than anybody with their constituents, the black community. But they're the ones that fought against it. One article said Democrats, tried repeatedly to water Landry's bills down with a variety of amendments. Most of those efforts failed. Matthew Willett, Democrat, New Orleans. These new laws do nothing to prevent crime before it happens. Walker, you ever figured out how do you stop stuff? They act like they had a movie out one time. They could go arrest you because you were going to commit a crime. Laws are made for they made to stop criminals, no doubt about it. But you cannot a law of the heart. The law of the heart, that's a God thing. I mean, these people are crazy. Well, you ain't do anything to stop. Well, what would you do? Let me tell you what they would do. They would have the Democrats would have gun-free zones. How'd that work out? The Democrats would see how much money they can get from the federal government. Mr. Willett said, in fact, the bills passed will explode Louisiana's prison population. Well, let me tell you something. If that would help stop crime, because these people that are committing crime are doing it over and over and over and over again. When we catch them and bust them in the rear end, they go to jail, and they ought to spend a lot of time in jail. So if it increases the crime population and the prison population and crime goes down, what's wrong with that? And then he said they're worried about the increased recidivism and placing an enormous burden on Louisiana taxpayers for generations to come. We're paying the bill anyway. And, of course, the death penalty. Now, I said all that to bring you in case you missed it yesterday. Rodney Lyons, representative out of New Orleans. Mike Johnson, representative from Pineville, pro tem, pushing the bill with concealed carry. You can have a concealed carry. You can conceal carry without having a permit, as coming on July 4th. And this guy, who's not Mr. Willard, but once again, same party, same mind thought, same projections. He actually asked the man, what about the criminals? Have you talked to the criminals how they feel about concealed carrying without permits? He wants to know, have you called? If you missed this yesterday, don't go nowhere. We'll play it a couple of times. Here we go. This is 2 days ago. And this is Mr. Rodney Lyons, Representative Rodney Lyons out of the New Orleans area, asking, has Mike Johnson visited with the criminals and how they feel about this? Here we go.
Have you spoken to any criminals to get any idea how they would feel to come to this particular position that you would know how a criminal would act under those conditions?
This bill focuses on victim
conditions.
Kill it. Start. When I tell you, be ready. Folks, I'm not making this up. The man, just like Mr. Willard, he's worried about people being in prison. We need criminals off the street. Crime goes down. You cannot stop crime. Crime is of the heart. That's why this is a Christian nation. That's why we teach our kids right and wrong. That's why we try to teach. That's why the makeup of the mom and dad and the children and the family unit makes America great. I don't know what president said, but this country was made from moral people. You govern yourself, and you don't have to have all these laws. We don't need as many prisons. But we've gotten away from that. All these single kids with no dads, black and white, it doesn't matter. It hurts us. This guy want to know how to stop it. Then moms and daddies, when they have babies, raise them. Teach them right and wrong. Bust their fannies when you need it. That's so stop it. But that genie's out the bottle. So now we got to come up with laws and spend more money to protect the citizens because the genie's out of the bottle. Democrats, for the most part, hate Jesus. They love Satan. I can't help it. That's what they do. I'm looking at their policies. They want to kill babies so they don't bring another baby in the world. 64 million babies dead, called abortion. And that's the Democrats' number one issue. But for this guy to be arguing that Mike Johnson, did you go talk to criminals and see what they feel about this? About somebody being able to carry without getting a permit? Why talk to the criminals? They don't care about the laws anyway. They carry anyway. They're going to do something bad anyway. This is crazy. Let me, one more time, just play this short thing. It is all about Mr. Lyons, Rodney Lyons, worried about, did they talk to the criminals? Here we go.
Have you spoken to any criminals to get any idea how they would feel to come to this particular position that you would know how a criminal would act under those conditions?
All right, that's it. Cut it. So they did a poll yesterday with just criminals. And criminals don't think people, 100% of them voted that we don't think law-abiding citizens should be able to conceal a handgun because criminals wouldn't know if they had one. 100%. The poll showed 100% criminals agree that the law-abiding citizens should not be able to have a gun that's concealed, even though it's a constitutional right. So I'm just letting you know what the poll says. This guy, Willard, they're all Democrats. Let me tell you about Democrats. It don't matter if Joe Biden was in the White House, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, name any Democrat out there, John Bel Edwards. They all think and do the same thing. They all get in line and they do the same thing. That's communism. There is no talking in that party. Green New Deal settled. Abortion settled. Everything with that party is settled. This is what they believe, and if you don't believe that, we need to wipe people off the map. That's communism. That's what the party's become. For this guy to sit here and say, what about the criminals? Did you talk to the criminals? Sure, we're going to visit with the criminals what to do. That's the kind of intelligence we're dealing with. Not a whole lot. A little bit about the car business. When we visit with President and CEO of LADA, Louisiana Automobile Dealers Association. We'll talk to them a few minutes, see what's going on in Louisiana. Tim Metcalf will stick his head in here. We got a lot more to go. Don't go nowhere.
Show that's not immune to facts. The Dan Bongino Show here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
Former President Trump is back in court. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, in a secure room in Florida for a hearing in his classified documents criminal case.
The FBI raided Mar-a-Lago back in August 2022. Here we are, March 1st, 2024, waiting for a trial date. This is a complicated case with tens of thousands of pages of documents.
Fox's David Spun outside the court in Fort Pierce says the judge may change the trial date from May to the summer.
Trump is claiming in both his federal prosecutions that he should be immune because he was president when the alleged crimes occurred. The Supreme Court has agreed to take up the presidential immunity issue in late April, meaning a start of a May 20th date nearly impossible.
In a few hours in Georgia, closing arguments in an attempt to remove the DA from the state's Trump criminal case, charging the former president for attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Fani Willis is accused of a conflict of interest, having a romantic relationship with the special prosecutor she hired. Also today in Georgia, Laken Riley's funeral, a nursing student murdered last week.
Riley's obituary says her smile was infectious and she spread joy everywhere she went. ICE says Riley's accused killer, Jose Ibarra, came into the U.S. illegally in 2022. A fundraiser in Riley's name has raised over $170,000 so far.
That's Fox's Madison Scarpino in Woodstock, Georgia. Alexei Navalny laid to rest in Russia after a funeral at a church in Moscow 2 weeks after the Russian opposition leader died at a Russian prison. Thousands of mourners were there despite the risk of arrest with a heavy police presence. A man in New York just sentenced to 25 years to life in prison for killing a woman last year when Kevin Monahan shot at a car in his driveway in Hebron, north of Albany. Kaylin Gillis was a passenger. The driver had mistakenly gone to the wrong house. Monahan claimed he fired a warning shot and that the one that killed Gillis went off by accident. America's listening to Fox News.
Life insurance. What's your excuse for putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think your work coverage is enough? There's a lot of excuses for putting off life insurance, but one big reason why you shouldn't. If the unexpected were to happen to you, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' tuition, and all the other bills? In a time of grief, the last thing you would want is for your family to have to sell the house and struggle to survive financially. At Ethos, we could get you covered in just 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Rates can increase the longer you wait, so no more excuses. Take 10 minutes today and discover the modern way to get the life insurance coverage you need. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
South Louisiana's biggest St. Patrick's Day celebration is back. Patty in the Park, Saturday, March 16th at Park International, downtown Lafayette, presented by Bud Light. Featuring The Good News, 337, DJ Digital, and the People's Champ, Paul Law.
What it do is Power Wow, I'm the People's Champ.
Tickets available now at eventbrite.com and all Legends locations. The only official after Patty party happening at Downtown Legends Patio. Official Patty in the Park t-shirt by Mike James Entertainment. Wristbands by The Ruins. Designated driver tent by Service Chevrolet.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, hour number 2 of the Moon Griffon Show on a beautiful Friday. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you got a great weekend lined up. 844-766-6607 is a Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management hotline. Honored to have on the pro, Colter McMahon, President and CEO of Louisiana Automobile Dealers Association. Colter, how you doing?
Moon, good morning. Thank you for having me. It's a great morning in the capital region. Great morning in Louisiana. How we doing?
Oh man, doing great, no doubt about it. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about what the association is and what it does and things of that nature.
Sure. So Louisiana Automobile Dealers Association, we're a full-service trade association, and we represent approximately 350 new motor vehicle, car, and heavy truck dealers in Louisiana. And we also have over about 150 allied associate members that provide different services to our dealer body. And really what our goal is to provide, products and services that enhance the operations of our member dealers. We also serve as a united front and a voice for our members at the Capitol, advocating for their interests and promoting ethical business practices. And obviously, and maybe most importantly, supporting economic growth in Louisiana and specifically the automotive industry. So, I like to refer to our dealerships as community assets because that's what we are. We're job creators. We're a tax base. Just last year, $733 million in sales tax. Our average employee earns about $80,000 a year. And we're givers, right? I mean, just collectively last year, our dealers donated $18 million back to their respective communities. So, just really, really important to the state of Louisiana are the dealers that I represent.
Yeah, let me ask a question about the business in general. I know ever since COVID, and it's been a different type business because, there was so many more cars on the lot. We had all the problems with getting parts and getting service and building vehicles. And is that eased up at all? The price don't look like it's eased up at all. But what about the rest of it?
I'll tell you, wasn't that a scary time? You would drive by dealerships and the inventory was just so low, right? I mean, it's something like you never had seen before. And that was obviously an issue with the chip shortage, right, and parts with the supply chain disruptions. And look, we're seeing inventory rise. I read a report yesterday. Inventory was up 36% in January compared to the same month in 2023. So that's a great thing when our dealers have inventory. And the total cost to purchase and finance a new vehicle was down 3.3%. So it's getting better on that front. Still, the prices are still pretty stable, but with inventory increasing, that's only a good thing.
Yeah, I was about to say you have a little bit more competition. Yeah, I still go by some of the car dealerships, but I do notice. I mean, it was really, really low. It looked like they were never coming back. I do notice that they're having more and more on the lots today. His name is Colter McMahon. He's the president and CEO of Louisiana Automobile Dealers Association. I'm going to ask you something off script a little bit. I don't know what you're going to tell me, so I'm just going to ask you. There's not a big market for electric vehicles. I personally hope I never own one. I'm not going to get into my politics with that, but
sure.
Do you see a market for that's going to take off, or is it just being forced on us?
Well, I'll tell you, and I'll tell everyone that I speak to on this issue, the LADA, our dealers, look, we'll sell electric vehicles if there's a demand there for it. Mm-hmm. But what we've seen recently, and I think nationwide, what the manufacturers are seeing is the demand's not there.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, you see news reports when the freeze happened, right? That there were vehicles in Chicago, EV vehicles that were not operating correctly. The batteries, there was issues with the cold in the batteries, and so reliability. The consumer wants reliability. And I just don't think that we're there yet. The consumer sentiment is not there for EV, certainly not in Louisiana. You know, we talk about the Acadiana region or Northeast Louisiana region. You know, our farmers, our sugarcane farmers, our rice farmers, our cotton farmers, they're not interested in an EV at this point. They want reliability. They want diesel, gas. And so, look, like I said, we'll sell electric vehicles, but we're not for mandates. And certainly the Biden administration has wanted to, push these mandates that we 67% of all new car sales be EV by 2032. That's not based in reality. That's impractical. There's just the infrastructure is simply not there for that to even be remotely possible.
But, Coach, I appreciate you saying that because I don't think the demand's going to ever be there. I just don't like when the federal government says, here's what you got to do. We doing this, thinking a made-up lie of climate. But I'm just kind of curious. I deal with car dealerships, advertisement, things of that nature. And I think if you want one, they'll order one for you, but they're not necessarily just sticking a bunch of them on the lots, especially in Louisiana. I can't speak for every other state, but for us. But I'm just kind of curious how y'all handle that. What 2024 is here now. Anything new this year that you want people to know about in the business that be looking for? I know interest rates are one of those things that you have no control over, so up, down, whatever. You just
no,
go
that's
what you
right.
got.
I mean, we obviously monitor the interest rates, and we thought that there was going to be a little relief in March that may not have obviously taken place. I can just tell you that our dealers are going to be engaged. They're going to compete for your business. That's what's so great about our franchise model is the competition amongst Louisiana dealers for the consumer business, and that's only good for consumers.
Yes, sir.
In terms of the association, Moon, I mean, I'm 2 months into this job, and so it's important for me to just really immerse myself in the industry, get to know my dealers, get to know the issues facing them, get to know the laws and regulations that apply to my dealers, but also get to know the new administration, Governor Landry and Attorney General Liz Murrill and all the other statewide elected officials and the new set of legislators, and just educate them on why our dealers are so important to Louisiana's economy. And I think they know that, but you know, a dealership can be. People often don't realize this, but a dealership, so it's a point of sale, but then you have a F&I department, and then you have a parts department, and then you have a service department. And so it's a very complex business. And so I'm going to use that time to really educate our new members of the legislature about the business model, you know, what's important to our dealers, and really for myself, just learn my dealer body. And I was over in your neck of the woods yesterday talking to my Acadiana dealers kind of about the state of the industry. Sure. And it was great to get the chance to meet them because these settings, these regional meetings, Moon, we were up in Northeast Louisiana, then we were in Northwest Louisiana Monday and Tuesday, Lafayette yesterday, Acadiana region, Baton Rouge Tuesday, and then Metairie Thursday. And so it gives me an opportunity to get face to face with my dealer body and learn more about them and the issues that they are facing. So, that's kind of what our priorities are. We do, and I'm going to put a plug in on the show. We have dealer day at the Capitol, April 9th. Our team has done an incredible job. It's the first time the automobile dealers have ever done something like this, and we're encouraging all of our dealers to come to Baton Rouge and really make your voice be heard to the legislator about why we're so important to Louisiana's economy, and so that message cannot be conveyed enough. And so April 9th at the Capitol, we'd love to have you. It should be a great day.
Coulter, the biggest two investments somebody makes probably is their home and then a vehicle. They're not cheap.
No doubt about it.
They might have used one or not, so I know it's important. I'm just glad to see more cars and inventories, and hopefully the competition will start some prices headed down a little bit for people so they can continue to buy, because people holding on. People holding on a little longer. So, you want your dealerships to do good. They got to be able to buy them. And by the way, whether it's interest rates or the vehicles, y'all have little to do with that. Y'all just ready to sell and move product and service and help people out. And I wish y'all the best of luck. How can people find out more about y'all real quick before I let you go?
Yeah, so LADA.org. We also have a Facebook page, a LinkedIn account. Louisiana Automobile Dealers Association. If you're a member, our dealer members, we oftentimes will put out dealer alerts, just kind of updating on the state of the industry, and those go out to our dealer members as well as our associate members. But to find out more about the association, LADA.org. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn. So, please. I'd encourage your listeners to visit our site and just really see what we're all about. And really, I can't say it enough. Our dealers are community assets, and Friday night football games, you see the dealer banner, sponsoring that specific school or the T-ball team or cancer research, serving on different boards.
Colt, I got to go just because of time, man. Thank you so much. And you're right. Y'all do a lot of community stuff. Thank you, sir. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.One and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.One and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.One. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh, every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you. Or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks, they're good. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com. Griffon Show, great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 Here's the number. It's Matthew James, Tax and Wealth Management Hotline. Well, I was getting ready to jump on him. Tim Metcalf is in the house. Dino's Pizza, and, of course, our friends at Prejean's, the Metcalf family. Tim pulls in. I tell my producer, Walker, I said, look at Tim, how he parked. That's the worst parking job I've ever seen. He blocked in somebody. So he walks in here. You did it on purpose.
Well, it's a friend of ours, and I'm going to see if he can get around that big truck or not. So
I just hope he don't hit your truck. Then it won't be funny, will it?
No.
What if he just backs up and tears off?
I think he's smarter than that. So we'll find out.
And then, of course, I woke up this morning. I was the ballet open, turned the TV on. I see Tim Metcalf on TV. You're all over the place. The radio, TV, doing a little bit of everything.
Right, exactly.
Cooking up. I think y'all did. When I saw you,
literally didn't sleep last night. So.
Okay, well, when I watched it, you may have cooked something earlier because I know you told me they were coming early.
Mm-hmm.
When I watched it, you were doing the nacho fries.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That looked good.
They're good.
Why you didn't bring them? Matter of fact, Walker said,
I'll bring you
no, Walker said that's what he's going to bring. I said, no, it ain't. You told me to bring it. He was going to bring
the
it.
restaurant. Yeah,
but that was kind of cool to get the pub. What were they doing? Just
Al reached out. He was doing unique Lent items.
Okay.
So
Lent items.
Yeah, with the price of crawfish, boiled crawfish this year, you got to kind of look at alternatives, right? But I've got a fix for that. So me and the wife, we started them at Prejean's. So instead of each going in and getting 5 pounds, we got 1 5-pound order we shared and a cup of gumbo in this cool weather. It was perfect, and the price was about the same. If the old days when you get 2 5-pounds at $35, $40, and then they're $12 a pound. So
everybody's making an adjustment. I was at a place the other day, Tim, and they said that, crawfish is really like skyrocketing high. Okay, we get it. And they said, no, we're selling them. People coming in, they buy 5 pounds. He said, but what they do is they ain't tipping. So, no, they'll come in, they'll drink their beer or whatever they're drinking and eating. They'll eat the crawfish, leave and never tip. And they say, well, I normally would leave $20, $25 on this. I'm just going to save that money because I spend it on crawfish. Yeah, I went ouch for the workers. Now, by the way, it may not be happening everywhere. It was one place, and the little girl said, what do you do? I mean, we out here servicing them.
Right.
And they live off of tips. So
they do.
And you're in a restaurant, you know what I'm saying?
Do. Absolutely.
If somebody wants to eat crawfish, at least give the tip. Just don't eat as much crawfish. Right, that's what y'all did.
That's what we did. Yeah, we split a 5-pound order and had a cup of gumbo and both full and satisfied had our crawfish fix.
Yeah, you had a little taste. You were good to go.
Exactly.
All right, what you got today?
Today we brought the firecracker shrimp from Prejean's. That's a large butterfly shrimp. And then we bread it in panko and make that Thai pepper jelly. That's that sauce you tried.
That was good, too.
We do the crawfish Inez, which is a pasta. It's a linguine pasta with the Inez sauce that we created from James Graham's recipe book and little fried crawfish on it. And, man, it's good.
Now, you're selling these just at Lent?
Yep.
This is not a regular menu item.
These are Lent.
This is a Friday item?
The firecrackers shrimp, that's a regular menu item. The seafood lasagna I brought with the blackened shrimp and crab crawfish, and the Inez are both Lent items only. But it's every day of the week during Lent only. Yeah.
So it's a whole Lent item, not just Friday.
That's right.
Man, that stuff's delicious.
Good.
Boy, tell you what, you're getting crawfish fish, it's just not the ball one.
That's right. I don't know what we're gonna do next year because I don't know what pure meat's gonna be at the end of the season. You know what I mean? So we're going off of last year's meat.
But now at Prejean's, you got ball crawfish starting on the weekend.
We started Wednesday, so we're doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 4 days a week.
I'm gonna take it. Tim is still limited, but they're catching more.
Oh yeah.
I talked to a crawfish farmer, Walker, your buddy, the other day, and he was telling me that they don't have their people in to even catch them yet.
No.
But the next week,
some hadn't started, but we were in Tuesday. We were in Ragley, Louisiana. We stopped at a big crawfish wholesaler because we saw some ponds that were dry, and we asked him like, "Hey, what happened?" He goes, "Man, we started catching, and that last cold front, it went down to nothing, so we just drained some of our ponds." I said, "You drained your ponds already? This is still February." He goes, "Yes, sir."
Yeah.
Oh,
but the price,
really strange.
Is the basin going to come in? You have to check on that at all.
I think our basin should come in. Yeah.
The basin, all that was real.
Never went
real, that was real low too, though.
Exactly, but it never went dry. So the crawfish burrow anyhow. So I think the basin will be changing. I think, hopefully, knock on wood, that's where we get our meat from, you know.
Well, what are you looking at when you say basin? Somebody told me in the business that they're looking at maybe if they get them in, the basin would come in pretty good. They might run crawfish that are quitting around Memorial Day. They might run in late June.
Yes.
See, if I say how late they, even though the crawfish get bigger and harder, you can cook them.
You can cook them. You can. They peel a little
Well, if
harder.
somebody that hadn't eaten them, they'd probably buy them, and the price might be a little better by that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It should be. And then the basin they run. You know, the crawfish festival in Breaux Bridge until the first week of May.
Yeah.
So they run June into July.
It's hard to have a crawfish festival. You ain't got no crawfish, probably.
I hope the basin has them. We'll see what happens.
Talked to the wholesaler. It was 2 days ago. They were hoping in that April-May area that if they get crawfish rolling, that they might can get down below $3 a pound.
Oof. That's scary. That still puts your tail meat at, 15,
oh, no,
16,
tail meat.
That's 20. I saw it was $19.99 the other day at a grocery store, and that's what they paid for it. I know. Yeah. They're trying to get.
But it's like anything else. You have to deal with it. His name is Tim Metcalf. PraiseJohns.com, Dino'sPizzas.com. All that going well. Still working. Everybody rocking and rolling.
It's going well. Two Praise Johns, 3 Dinos,
and he got a lot of other stuff. We
got stuff going. Right. We got more stuff coming up.
It's the Metcalf family, great family, very community oriented. These guys and his wife and dad and them, they do a great job. So a son.
4 generations.
4 generations.
I was.
We got to go.
Okay.
Thank you, bud.
Yeah, my grandson Riley. So.
I heard.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. Spring is here, and if you love seafood like I do, you need Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Ragin' Cajun's delicious seafood dinners like etouffee, Creole sauce, shrimp and grits, seafood bisque, gumbo and roux. All Ragin' Cajun products are made right here in Acadiana. Folks, trust me, they are good. Ask for the Ragin' Cajun and all your favorite grocery stores today. Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun season. Ask them for the Ragin' Cajun. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
Hey, everybody, it's Jay.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. That means it could be you, your best man, your worst man. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Always fun having Tim in and opportunity to nibble a little bit. Little brunch today. Anyway, I didn't get to eat all that. I tasted a little bit of everything, but not much. Anyway, great to have you back. 844-766-6607 is the number. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Always email me, moon@moongriffon.com. moon@moongriffon.com. So, there's still a big news is, it's amazing. Joe Biden and the Democrats are all down there worried about the border. So yesterday, the President of the United States said, get the Republicans to sign this new border bill, which lets, I think, 5,000 across every day, which is ludicrous. The whole bill sucks. It was horrible. Mike Johnson said dead on arrival. It was. That wouldn't have stopped one person from coming in yet. Folks, for the Democrats to claim that it's Republicans' fault at the border is absolutely asinine. What's even worse is for people to believe it and the media to write like it's the Republicans' fault. He's the President of the United States. The reason why Trump was getting the border done and all that, he used everything in his power to try to stop it. Now, I tell you what's something else I'm happy to see, and the Democrats are getting hit and Biden. And remember, it does not matter who the Democrat is that's in Washington. It could be Obama, Biden, Michelle, you name a Democrat, Bill Edwards. They all believe the same thing. They all believe the same thing. They all react the same way. There is no difference. When they take Biden off the ballot and they put Michelle or whoever they're going to put, it ain't going to be no different than Joe Biden. It's all groupthink. It's all like communist China. Here's what we're doing. And no, you cannot disagree with a Democrat. I don't care if it's killing a baby. I don't care if it's about taking the penis off of a 10-year-old. They think that's okay. You can't argue with them. That's their choice. The climate change, everything they're doing is anti-America, anti-Jesus Christ, anti-God. It's all this. So they got their people and their voters that are going to vote like them, and they better not get off the plantation. So Republicans really got them in a bind because of this border situation. We ought to have them in a bind because of the financial situation, too. But I saw it again, and now they're starting to say what they ought to keep saying through the election. I just saw with a University of Georgia vigil, hundreds mourn Laken Riley, who was killed by Joe Biden allowing illegals to come here. They had another illegal in Louisiana that raped a 14-year-old girl. That's their responsibility. We've got lots of people being killed, lots of people being raped, all from people that are coming across who have no business being here. And Joe Biden and Barack Obama and the insane left have all done this. They have no problem with it. And the National Chamber of Commerce, if they're for this too, with illegals, they're responsible. But Joe Biden and the Democrats are the responsible ones for what's going on. And they need to use it now every single day, starting with Laken Riley. Finally, House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Joe Biden has blood on his hands over illegal alien murders. Murders with an S. Folks, this is happening because it hadn't caught you yet. Doesn't mean it happened. About a fact, let me share this. They're having a Millie Mattered advocacy walk in Lafayette Sunday, March 3rd, 2 p.m. at Girard Park. Louisiana Drug Epidemic Walks 2024. Okay? What's that got to do with this? Remember the young girl I told you, young lady that has a daughter that was about 21, 22 years old that died from fentanyl that came across the border? This is what the walk's for. Millie was her name. Millie mattered. Her daughter mattered. Illegals bringing that drugs from China, killing our people. And you people are going to keep voting for Democrats and Joe Biden? And this is what they believe? They kill you before you come out the womb. They kill you when you become 20 through drugs. This is what this lady's having this walk for. It's 2 p.m. at Girard Park in Lafayette. Millie mattered advocacy. My daughter mattered. Didn't to Joe Biden. Her daughter didn't matter to Joe Biden. Her daughter don't matter to Chuck Schumer. Her daughter doesn't matter to Nancy Pelosi. Yet we keep voting for people that are absolutely wrong for a free country. They're right for a Marxist communist country, but they're wrong for the type country we're supposed to have. And that's a shame. So the House majority, great job. Joe Biden has blood on his hands. Yes, he got the blood of this young girl right here with his epidemic of fentanyl coming across. I read an article today. They caught some people with fentanyl could have killed 30 million people. Both Joe Biden, it's amazing. Trump will hit him hard yesterday at the border. Biden and the left have done nothing. If Chuck Schumer would have sent a tough, reasonable bill to stop this, Mike Johnson would be all in. Mike Johnson sends a bill, and guess what? Chuck Schumer and them kill it. So I'm glad to see. By the way, you know what Joe Biden and them are calling the illegals now? Y'all ready? The new term? You can't make this up. Joe Biden and his White House legal team are calling illegal immigrants, illegals, now newcomers. Well, they're all newcomers. They coming in and only killing the Raleigh girl and raping a 14-year-old girl. They're real good newcomers. How many of y'all want newcomers? Change the words. Newcomers. See, that's what you do. You change the definition. Remember when it was global warming? It became climate change. Change the word. Newcomers. Well, why don't everybody that believes in voting for Democrats, why don't y'all house all these newcomers in your house? Take them in. Don't worry where they come from. Don't worry if they got diseases. Don't worry if they murders or rapists or whatever. This is the United States of America. And folks, getting them out of here is going to be hard. And the Democrats and Biden and Obama and them understand this. But let me tell you something about the left. They're very patient. They know how to destroy things. Be patient. We get to the 2030 census. All of a sudden, we got 20 million new people spread out. And all of a sudden, the Democrats can't be beating the House or the Senate because, well, we got these new census numbers in it. Trump, during the 2020 census, tried to get to where everybody's counted, but we're only going to count the United States citizens when it comes to, finding out how many representatives you want, how much money goes where, and the Democrats fought it, and the federal judges fought it, and we didn't win. Trump tried. Newcomers. Yep, folks, illegal that raped a 14-year-old in Canada wasn't illegal. It was a newcomer. The illegal who killed the Raleigh girl, that was not illegal. That was a newcomer. See how it sounds better? It just makes it sound better. That's what Democrats do. We just want to sound better. Instead of saying global warming, since it's getting cold all the time, guess what? Climate change. Why? Climate changes all the time. We just go with the flow. This is what they do, newcomers. People are starting to see it because I saw another one, letter to the editor, hold Biden accountable for border chaos. Yes. But let me tell you something. When they switched Joe Biden out and they put Michelle Obama in, you got to remember something. It's the same person. I agree. The next person going to have brainwaves. He don't. But it's the same person. It's the same think tank. It's the same way that Democrats believe. They're not changing any policies, folks. They're not changing anything. So it doesn't matter who the Democrat nominee is. They're going to think just like Joe Biden. They're going to do the same things Joe Biden's doing. because they're going to be put in office by the same people that hate this country. That's exactly what's going on, and I just want you to know. But here's the good news. Republicans are at least accusing Biden of what they ought to accuse him, but they ought to not accuse Biden. They ought to start accusing the whole Democrat Party. You got to take the party on now. The voters have to know this is what the Democrat Party believes. If you quit having Republicans turn over to give up this debt and stuff, I mean, Democrats are the one pushing most of this debt, but a few ignorant Republicans. There was I had the number. I don't have it in front of me. 12 United States senators or 13 United States senator Republicans voted for the budget deal. So, anyway, I got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Spring is here, and if you love seafood like I do, you need Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Ragin' Cajun's delicious seafood dinners like etouffee, Creole sauce, shrimp and grits, seafood bisque, gumbo and roux. All Ragin' Cajun products are made right here in Acadiana. Folks, trust me, they are good. Ask for the Ragin' Cajun and all your favorite grocery stores today. Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning. Ask them for the Ragin' Cajun. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company. Repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202, or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below. You take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. The way Matthew James, Tax Wealth Management Hotline. By the way, I just was breaking. Speaker Mike Johnson announced the release of 5,000 hours of January 6 CCTV footage. He says it's the first wave of many that will come over the next few weeks and months. He also ordered that no faces be blurred, which would hid Fed informants and agents. Time for the J6 truth. So this is being released. Mike Johnson, Congressman Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. Good. Let's see what's going on. That's the one where the Democrats blame Trump for everything, and it's not Trump's. It's not Trump's problem. It becomes his problem because the Democrats. They just hate Trump, and under no circumstance are going to let Donald Trump be president again. These people are just evil. And you can get mad at me for saying about Democrats. I didn't say all registered voters either. I said the power players are. They know how to use and manipulate their voters, and they usually do it with no problem. It's not a problem for them to manipulate most of their voters. Most of their voters are saying, which way did he go? Which way did he go? He went over there. Okay, and we're going over there. Get mad at me all they want to. It's just a fact. That's what they do. I'll give you an example. So I read an article. I pulled it up. The revolution in Venezuela, 25th anniversary. One guy wrote, my socialist hell, 25 years of revolution in Venezuela, and it's nothing to show for it. So I started reading it, and it kind of reads like what the Democrats have done in the partying for this state, especially with the black community. Keep promising, 67 years later, and nothing ever happens. They just want to vote. Let's see. He said, as to celebrate, cheers, and rejoice, I'm here having left everything behind. My home, remaining family, neighbors, and friends carrying nothing but 3 pieces of luggage, a worn-out, factory-defective laptop from 2011 that's living on borrowed time and some savings. And talk about when Chavez came in. Oh, he promised them everything, just like the Democrats. He promised them everything. He built his presidential platform on revolution. He built it on a set of lies. The Democrats are lying to you about the Green New Deal. They're lying about your prosperity. Your ship ain't come in because they can't. I've been telling y'all this. All I got to do is keep reading and looking and studying and praying a lot. And I can watch what the Democrat Party turned out into. Let's go to the inner cities and find out all the promises Democrats made to those folks. Some of a lot of people that Marxism, communism, they lie. They just flat out lie in front of you. Some of the lies were his claims that he would not nationalize a single thing, that he would not take over the media, okay, that he would only rule for 5 years as a centrist president. He even went so far as to call Cuba, which became his regime's closest ally, okay, a dictatorship. Listen, Obama did it. Biden did it. This is what they do because they know they can use the voters. Everybody's promised prosperity and lower taxes, and you're going to get there. That's what Democrats promise. They promised the blacks for a long, long time, and my friends in the black community will never be able to prosper unless they do it on their own. They're not going to do it from a program that the federal government creates. It leaves you poor. It leaves you uneducated. But they promise them new world and new life and new jobs. None of that ever happens. Health care, Medicaid expansion. This ain't good. I'll tell you something. You've been promised Medicaid expansion, and you've been promised minimum wage increase, Bill Edwards. They got you where they want you because you're not a person going to be the best you can be. That's a shame. So when I looked at this thing in Venezuela, what happened, I kind of see it in the United States of America. All these promises. They throw stuff as dictator about Trump, and Trump wants to control your life, and Trump don't want to do any of that. They project on Trump and on the Republicans and on Christians and on conservatives and on white men, all the things they're really going to do. We got less, since Barack Obama came on the scene, we got less poverty or more. Since Barack Obama came on the scene, is our country prosperous or less prosperous? Just telling you, when government, big government people, Michelle Obama said the other day, oh no, we got to like government. All the great things government could do to you. We got to change the mindset of people how great government is. Go to Venezuela and ask how that worked out. Go to Cuba. But see, the power players and the people that get to the microphone, the people kind of convince people, are all so leftist, okay? They will live a different life than the average person that votes for a Democrat. They will live a better life, a much more prosperous life if they can stay in office around all that money. My socialist hell, 25 years of revolution in Venezuela, and nothing to show for it. You go to the inner cities, and let's go find people that are 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, and let's tell them to show us what voting for Democrats has done for you in your life. Just go and show it. I'm just telling you, go show it to us. And they can't. Go show somebody that's 50, 60 years old, living in the inner city, and say, hey, Democrats promised this, promised this, promised this. How's your life? How you doing? They won't like the response. But the media could go point this out. If it was flipped and it was Republicans or conservatives or Christians or white men, they'd blowing the doors off to tell you how bad it was. But because they teamed up with I'll tell you right now, you go look at history. When the major media takes sides, you lose your country. You go back and look at Venezuela and Cuba and Adolf Hitler. All the media took sides. They all got behind them. When I saw this story, it broke my heart because I thought, just think about Venezuela. I've never been there. I've seen pictures and read about it, but I've never been there. And it's a hellhole. Some of these places, Cuba, they're hellholes. Horrible. But they all had leaders like Barack Obama and Joe Biden in them. Vote for us. We're gonna give you food. You have a great job. You have great health care. None of that ever comes true. Why do you think it's gonna come true here, folks? You got 35 or 40 million illegals here, and no telling how many you really have. And everybody's just gonna be the same, and we all share the money and share the wealth and share the health care. Countries like that are losers, and it makes their people losers. I tell you with the Democrats, they destroy families. They destroy communities. They destroy parishes and cities. They destroy states. They destroy whole countries with their policies. Nobody can ever argue with me on that because I've watched it all over the world. Anyway, according to Mark, we got to shut it down. Another hour to go. Blake Miguez is going to join us about the session for a segment of 2. And I got a gentleman later today talking about these ICE agents and people like that and what are they doing at the border. So join us on that. That'll be a little bit after 11:30. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll see you back in a few minutes.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
Guilty on all counts on Lisa Brady, Fox News. That verdict just announced in the 2019 killing of a Connecticut mother of 5, Jennifer Dulos, whose body was never found. Prosecutors say her estranged husband killed her during a bitter divorce and custody fight, but he killed himself after being charged. It's his girlfriend who has just been convicted.
Is it your verdict that the defendant, Michelle Troconis, is guilty to the information of the charge of conspiracy to commit murder?
Yes.
Troconis also found guilty of evidence tampering and hindering prosecution, sobbing after the verdict was read with her head down on the table. She could face decades in prison. The judge setting bond at $6 million with sentencing set for May 31st. A New York man convicted of killing a woman who ended up in his driveway by mistake is sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. 66-year-old Kevin Monahan was convicted of second-degree murder and other counts for killing 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis, a passenger in a vehicle.
Gillis was traveling with a group of friends looking for another person's house when they mistakenly pulled into Monahan's driveway about 40 miles north of Albany. Monahan said he thought the house was, quote, under siege by intruders and fired a warning shot to scare them away. A second shot from Monahan hit Gillis in the neck.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Former President Trump in a Florida courtroom as attorneys trade arguments at a hearing about his federal classified documents case.
Special counsel Jack Smith, as of yesterday, proposed July 8th to be the new start date. Trump's team said they could settle on August 12th.
Fox's David Spunt. The judge initially set a May trial date, but a change is expected as the U.S. Supreme Court considers the former president's claims that he should be immune from prosecution for allegations from when he was still in office. America is listening to Fox News.
Life insurance. What's your excuse for putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think your work coverage is enough? There's a lot of excuses for putting off life insurance, but one big reason why you shouldn't. If the unexpected were to happen to you, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' tuition, and all the other bills? In a time of grief, the last thing you would want is for your family to have to sell the house and struggle to survive financially. At Ethos, we could get you covered in just 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Rates can increase the longer you wait, so no more excuses. Take 10 minutes today and discover the modern way to get the life insurance coverage you need. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Israel's military facing more criticism for firing on Palestinians during the rush on an aid convoy in Gaza City yesterday.
Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan are accusing Israeli forces of a crime against humanity after more than 100 Palestinians were killed and hundreds more wounded after a crowd rushed towards an aid convoy pulling off food and other essentials. Israel says many of those killed were trampled to death in a chaotic crush, and troops fired only when they felt endangered. President Biden told reporters Thursday he was briefed, but cautioned there are conflicting versions about what happened. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
President Biden lost thousands of primary votes in Michigan in a protest over his Mideast policies. Now the executive board of Washington State's largest private sector union also supports choosing uncommitted for that state's Democratic primary March 12th.
The Washington chapter of the United Food and Commercial Workers has over 50,000 members. The union praised those who voted uncommitted in Michigan in last month's Democratic primary. Over 101,000 or 13.2% of voters chose uncommitted over President Biden.
Fox's CJ Papa. The union says it's the best way to send a message to the Biden administration. After losing in a British court, a royal couple wins a bid for added security in the U.S.
A recent ruling in British High Court determined once again that former Prince Harry will not get added security while visiting the U.K. However, evidence presented in the hearing shows that he will get more of a security detail in New York City. This stems after an alleged incident last year when paparazzi chased Harry and his wife Meghan Markle through the streets of Manhattan. The letter from the NYPD says that as a result of the incident, arrests could have been made. But according to sources speaking to the New York Post, charges were not filed because there was insufficient evidence. Now, all future visits to the Big Apple by the former royal couple will include enhanced security resources. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
Stocks are higher. The Dow's up 40 points. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.